As Jesus was walking along, he saw a man born blind. And his disciples asked him, "Teacher, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" And Jesus said to them, "Well, it was neither this man nor his parents. He was born blind so that the works of God might be revealed in him. We must work the work of the one who sent me while it is still day. Night is coming when no one works. But as long as I'm in the world, I am the light of the world." Now, once he had said this, he spat on the ground, and he made mud with the saliva, and then he spread the mud on the blind man's eyes, saying to him, "Now get up and go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So the man got up, and he made his way to the pool of Siloam, where he washed, and he came back able to see. Well, all his neighbors and the other people who remembered him sitting there begging as a blind man said to each other, "Isn't this the guy who used to sit here and beg?" And there were some who said, "Yep, that's him." And there were others who were like, "No, that's just somebody who looks like him." But the man said, "No, it's me, I am the man." And so they said to him, "Well, then, how is it that you now see?" And the man said to them, "Well, the man named Jesus, he made mud and put it on my eyes and told me to go and wash in the pool of Siloam. So I went, I washed, and I received my sight." And they said to him, "Well, where is he?" And the man said, "I don't know." Well, they took the man who had received his sight to the Pharisees. Now, it was a Sabbath day when Jesus had done the work of making the mud and opening his eyes. So the Pharisees asked the man who had received his sight, "So how is it that you received your sight?" And the man said to them, "Well, the man put mud on my eyes and told me to wash. I washed, and I received my sight." Some of the Pharisees said, "Well, that man is clearly a sinner. He doesn't observe the Sabbath." But there were others who said, "Yeah, but how could a sinner perform signs like this?" And so they were divided. So again, they asked the man who had received his sight, "Well, you tell us, what do you think? It was your eyes he opened. What do you think of him?" And the man said, "Well, he's a prophet?" Well, there were some Jews who would not believe that he had been born blind and then received his sight until they called his parents. And they asked them, "Is this your son who you say was born blind?" And his parents said to them, "Well, that is our son, yes, and he was born blind. But as to how he now sees or who opened his eyes, we don't know. He's old enough to speak for himself. Ask him." Now, they said this because they knew that they were afraid of the Jews, because the Jews had made a decision that anyone who proclaimed Jesus as the Messiah would be thrown out of the synagogue. So that's why his parents said, "Well, he's old enough, ask him." So for a second time, they called the man forward, and they said to him, "Give glory to God. That man is a sinner." And the man said to them, "Whether he is a sinner or not, I don't know. One thing I know. I was blind, but now now I see. And they said to him, But what did he do to you? How did he open your eyes? And the man said, Look, I've already told you, and you didn't believe me. Why do you want me to tell you again? Do you want to become one of his disciples too? And at this they reviled him and said, You are his disciple. We are disciples of Moses. We know that God spoke to Moses, but as for this man, we don't even know where he comes from. And the man said, This is astonishing. You don't know where he comes from. And yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners, but to people who worship and obey the will of God. Never from the beginning of the world has there ever been an instance where somebody opened the eyes of another person who had been born blind. If this man were not of God, he could do nothing. And the Pharisees said to him, You were born entirely in sins, and you are trying to teach us. And they threw him out. Jesus learned that the man had been thrown out, and he came and found him and said to him, Do you believe in the Son of Humanity? And the man said, Tell me who he is, Lord, so that I may believe. And Jesus said to him, Well, you have now seen him, and the one speaking to you now is he. And the man said to Jesus, Oh, I believe. And he worshiped him. Jesus said, I came for judgment, so that those who are blind may see, and those who see may become blind. Well, there were some Pharisees standing nearby who overheard him say this, and so they said to him, Well, surely we're not blind, are we? And Jesus said to them, Well, if you were blind, you would have no sin. But because you say, Well, we see, your sin remains.